Have you ever met someone who looks at the world differently? Not colder, not cynical, deeper, as if they see layers of reality most people never notice. These people are not born this way. They are forged. They become this after going through more than one human ever should. And if you're listening closely, you might recognize yourself. The first mark of someone who has endured too much is this. They feel other people's emotions before a single word is spoken. Not because they are mystical, not because they are gifted, because their nervous system learned how to survive. When you go through betrayal, loss, or emotional trauma, your brain adapts. It becomes a scanner. You walk into a room and instantly sense the tension in the air. You notice a micro-expression that lasts less than a second. You hear a shift in tone others completely miss. Psychologists call this hypersensitivity to social cues. Your brain remembers something critical. The last time you ignored the details, it hurt. So now you notice everything. Research from Yale University shows that people with emotional trauma histories identify deception and hidden intentions significantly more accurately than the average person. But there is a cost. You cannot turn it off. Even when you want to relax, your mind keeps analyzing every gesture, every pause, every word. You sit at a party, smiling on the outside, while inside your mind is running a constant commentary. Why did she look away? Why did his voice change just now? It's exhausting, but it also makes you deeply perceptive. You don't see through people because you are superior. You see through them because you paid for this skill with pain. The second mark is a brutal paradox. Build walls, but they crave closeness more than anyone else. They want to be seen, understood, accepted. Yet the moment someone gets too close, an alarm goes off inside their body. Danger, risk, exposure, because they remember what it felt like to open fully and get shattered. Psychologists call this avoidant attachment, but that clinical label doesn't capture the inner hell. You are both the architect of the fortress and the prisoner inside it. You take one step forward, then 2 steps back. Someone shows interest. You feel warmth. You begin to open. Then fear hits like a wave. You pull away. You find flaws. You invent reasons. Not because the other person is wrong, but because intimacy feels like a threat. Studies from Columbia University show that people with high stress histories activate the brain sphere center, even during positive social interactions. Your brain doesn't distinguish closeness from danger when closeness once led to pain. And the cruelest part, inside, you want connection more than anyone else. You dream of the moment you can finally remove the armor of someone who won't leave, won't betray you, won't weaponize your softness. You are not cold. You are cautious because you've been burned too many times. The third mark is an unusual relationship with time. The past isn't just a memory. It's a room you keep walking back into. A song that plays on a loop in your head, while others focus on the future. You spend a lot of time trying to make sense of the past. Why did it happen? What could I have done differently? Was it my fault? This isn't about being stuck. It's about seeking closure for a wound that never fully heal. Neuroscientists call this rumination, where the brain replays distressing events, trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. It's an attempt to regain control over a situation where you once felt powerless. But to an outsider, it can look like you're living in a different reality, unable to move on. They don't see that you're not reliving the pain for nothing. You're searching for the lesson, the meaning, the final piece that will allow you to finally put it down. This is why you often have profound insights. UVA looked at the same dark corners of human nature so many times that you know them intimately. The final mark is a quiet, unshakable strength. After everything you've been through, you have an inner resilience that most people can't comprehend. You have faced your demons. You have walked through fire and survived. This doesn't mean you are fearless. It means you know fear intimately, and you know how to walk alongside it. You've learned that you can fall apart and put yourself back together. You understand that healing isn't a straight line. There are good days and there are bad days, and you've learned to be patient with yourself through both. This strength isn't loud or boastful. It's a silent knowing, a calm in the center of the storm. It's the reason people are often drawn to you in their own moments of crisis. They sense that you won't shatter because you've already been broken and rebuilt. So, if you recognize yourself in this, know this: you are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are not difficult. You are a survivor who has developed an extraordinary set of skills. Your perception, your caution, your depth, and your strength were all earned. They are scars, yes, but they are also your superpowers. The world may not understand your depth, but it is precisely this depth that makes you who you are. The journey is to learn to trust your own perception, to slowly lower the walls for those who earn it, pair, and to honor the incredible strength it took to become the person you are today. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that helps us understand ourselves a little better. Have you ever met someone who genuinely doesn't care what other people think? I mean truly, not just pretending. Someone who is completely free. Well, that powerful indifference didn't come from a place of confidence. It came from collapse. This is the third mark of a transformed person. They no longer need approval, and it cost them everything to get there. Think about it. When you try over and over again to meet expectations and you still fall short. When you twist yourself into knots to be lovable and you're still abandoned. When you give every single piece of yourself and get nothing but indifference in return. Something inside you breaks. But it's not your character that shatters. It's an illusion. The illusion that getting approval from others can ever fill that empty space inside you. You finally stop chasing applause because you understand the hard truth. People will clap for you as long as you are convenient for them. They'll say they love you as long as you don't challenge their worldview. And when this realization finally hits you, not just in your mind, but deep in your bones, you become free. But that freedom is forged in fire. There's even science to back this up. Neuropsychological research shows that people who go through deep emotional pain have reduced brain activity in the parts tied to social approval. To put it simply, Their brain literally stops giving them that little reward hit for getting admirations. So they have no choice but to find value from within. Not because they read it in a self-help book, but because the outside world failed them one too many times. Other people look at them and wonder, where does all that confidence come from? It comes from pure exhaustion. They are just tired. Tired of being held hostage by other people's opinions. Tired of riding an emotional roller coaster that's controlled by someone else's mood. Rejection just doesn't have the same sting anymore because it's happened so many times. Its power is gone. And from this, the fourth mark follows naturally. They start to see beauty where other people see nothing at all. After you've been in total darkness, the light just hits differently. It's not about luxury or status or some big spectacle. It's the simple things. A warm cup of tea on a quiet morning. The way sunlight streams through a window. A song that starts playing at the exact right moment. Now, this isn't about romanticizing suffering. It's an undeniable side effect of being close to loss. When you've lost what mattered most to you, you understand just how fragile every good thing in life truly is. Nothing is guaranteed. And that realization doesn't make you numb. It makes you incredibly sharp. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it post-traumatic growth. Some people don't just recover from trauma. They are completely transformed by it. Their entire value system gets a rewrite. They stop chasing likes and titles and appearances. Instead, they search for what is real. You might see a flower growing up through a crack in the concrete, and you recognize it for what it is, a miracle of biology and sheer will. Meanwhile, other people just walk right past, their eyes glued to their phones. But you stop. You stop because you know this exact moment will never, ever exist again. This version of you, this specific light, this very breath. People might think you're a little strange. They'll ask why you get so moved by such small things. It's because you remember a time when nothing brought you any joy at all. And now, every single small joy feels like a victory. It feels like coming home. Some people forgive easily. Others forgive permanently, but only once. There's a huge difference between forgiveness born from weakness and forgiveness that comes from strength. This brings us to the fifth mark of a person who has endured too much. They do unforgive quickly, but when they do, it's final. They don't forgive just to keep the peace. They don't forgive because they're afraid of being alone. And they certainly don't forgive out of politeness or because they feel pressured. They forgive only when they see real, tangible change. Why? Because they've been betrayed too many times to mistake empty words for real transformation. They've heard every apology in the book. I didn't mean it. It won't happen again. I just wasn't myself. They've learned a hard truth. An apology without a change in behavior is just manipulation. So if you hurt them, don't expect to be let off the hook right away. They will watch you for weeks, for months, sometimes even for years. They're looking for consistency. They're watching your actions when you're under stress. They're observing your behavior when you think no one is looking. And if you pass that test, if they see that you've genuinely changed, they will forgive you completely. There won't be any passive aggression. No constant reminders of what you did. They won't use your past against you as a weapon. That's because they truly understand human imperfection. They were broken once too, and they had to rebuild themselves, piece by piece. Research even shows that trauma survivors tend to activate higher rational processing when deciding who to trust. Their forgiveness isn't an emotional impulse. It is a decision based on evidence. The sixth mark is perhaps the most paradoxical. They are often lonely in crowds, but never lonely when they're alone. They can be surrounded by people at a party or a gathering and feel completely isolated. The conversations feel shallow. The laughter seems forced. They might participate, but it feels like they're watching from behind a pane of glass. When you've experienced profound depth, you just can't play surface-level games anymore. Small talk feels empty when your mind is carrying entire universes. Gossip seems absurd when you've faced real, gut-wrenching pain. It's not that you're arrogant. You just can't pretend that trivial things matter. But when you're alone, truly alone, that's when you feel at peace. The silence doesn't suffocate you. Your own thoughts don't scare you. Solitude becomes the only place where you can finally breathe. Psychologists call this existential self-sufficiency. You didn't learn this out of pride. You learned it out of necessity. There were times when no one could possibly understand what you were going through. Moments when your pain was just too heavy to share. Times when you realized that in the darkest hours, you truly stand alone. And instead of fearing that truth, you accepted it. You befriended your own mind. You turned your inner conflict into inner wisdom. In fact, studies show that people who have overcome adversity often experience lower stress during periods of isolation. They understand the difference between loneliness and abandonment. Loneliness is a choice. Abandonment is a wound. And they've managed to turn that wound into a sanctuary. If you recognized yourself in these traits, listen closely. You are not broken. You are forged. Your psychology changed not because you are weaker, but because you survived what would have destroyed others. You feel deeper, and that makes you wiser. Protect yourself harder, but beneath that armor beats a heart that is capable of real, profound love. You no longer need approval from others because you have found your own truth. You see beauty in the world because you know what it's like to experience loss. You forgive rarely, but when you do, it's sacred. You might feel like an alien among many, but you are rich within yourself. The world doesn't always understand people like you, and it doesn't have to. It's enough that you understand yourself. You walked through fire and you didn't turn to ash. You became something rarer, more real, more alive. People who've endured too much carry a quiet, powerful energy. You can feel it in their eyes. You can sense it in the weight of their words and the depth of their presence. They don't demand attention. They don't need to announce themselves. They simply exist as living proof that pain doesn't have to create victims. It can create warriors. Not the kind who fight others, but the kind who have conquered themselves. And that is a language very few people ever learn to speak. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more content. If you're still here, still watching my videos, I just want to say something simple. Thank you. In this world of endless noise and constant distractions, the fact that you choose to spend your time here with me means more than you can possibly imagine. It means you're one of those rare people who wants to go deeper, who wants to question things, and who looks for answers inside yourself, not just on the surface. I am honestly so happy that there are people like you who share these interests, these questions, and this search for meaning. So, if you feel like this space resonates with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and maybe share this video with someone you know who might need it. Your support helps this content reach more people who are also quietly searching. Thank you for being here, really.